Okay, in this video, we're going to do the TempAgency application. That's at the back of Chapter 8. It's the last example. So the requirements for the TempAgency app starts on page 493. And basically, the reason I want to show you this is it's a two-dimensional array. And so we're just kind of look at two-dimensional arrays. And just to let you know, this program is already contained in the Class Documents tab under Course Programs. So let's start by looking at TempAgency App. This is where the main is contained. And well, first of all, let's just run it. So we'll start it up. Here's my information. It says you'll be asked to enter data for the temporary salespeople. After entering the number of salespeople in this month's group, enter their first name followed by a space and their last name. Next, you'll enter the expected sales for the first month. And what this will do is, after this expected sales for this first month, it will then calculate how much they should make for the next 4 months after that. Month 1 goes up by 5% from their initial sales. Month 2 goes up, I can't see it. It looks like, let's see, 5%. Then it goes up 10% for month 2. Then it goes up 15% of what they did in month 2 for month 3. And then it goes up 20% for month 4 from month 3. And so that's what we're going to be calculating. So we'll hit any key to begin. And just for example, we will say we have, let's say I'll do the example that's in the book. We have 4 people. Okay, so we have 4 people in this group. The first one is Amanda Dawson. Second name is Bob Franklin. Okay. Third name is Sarah. I'll just put Sarah Weather. And the fourth one is Chin Yan. So there's our 4 names in the group. Okay. Amanda Dawson. Well, originally she's going to be asked for initial sales of $50,000. Bob Franklin is going to be $60,000. Sarah Weather is going to be $60,000. And Chin Yan is $50,000. Whoops. I have to fix that sometime. Okay. So here's the salesperson name. And notice now it comes up Dawson, Amanda. Franklin, Bob. Weathery, Sarah. Yan, Chan, Chin. Initial sales, 50, 60, 60, 50. Going up 5%. So this is 5% higher than the initial sales. Going up 10%. So this is 10% higher than month 1. Going up 15%. This is 15% higher than month 2. And going up 20%. This is 20% higher than month 3. So that's what the program wants you to do. So let's look at the program. Here's my main. Again, do my info, TempAgency applications, just the name. If we look at info, it's always what it's been before. Then I create an object called the agency, and it's of class TempAgency UI. Here's my constructor. I have using the default constructor. And I'm calling main method within TempAgency UI class. So let's look at that. So the main method just display the instructions. Enter the number of salespeople in this group. And so that's where I come up with 4. And I'm going to check to make sure that what I've parsed is an integer. If it's not an integer, it's going to ask me error input. Please try again. Please enter the number of salespeople in this group. And just to show you how it works, hit any key to continue. If I put in T, error and input, please try again. Please enter the number of salespeople in this group. And I could keep doing it. And it's going to keep asking me until I put the number. And then once I get the number, what's the first person's name? Now I'm going to create an object of temp agency, and I'm going to call the object an agency, and I'm going to pass the number of people, which is what I just asked the user to put in, the number of people. Here I'm passing it. So let's look at temp agency class, and here's my constructor, number of salespeople. And what I'm going to use it for is to set the length of salesmen, which is a string matrix, one-dimensional. So I'm going to set salesman to whatever. And sales is a two-dimensional array. And it's going to be the number of salespeople. Say, like in my example, I did 4. And then the number of months plus 1. And in this case, it's 4 months. We're going to take the initial month plus the first month, second month, third month, fourth month. First month is 5% more. Second month is 10% more. Third month is 15% more. And the fourth month is 20% more. So I add 1 to month to include the initial month. This is my two-dimensional array. Notice I started it here. I said I'm going to have a two-dimensional array that are going to be doubles. There's my two-dimensional array. It's going to be called sales. And then I actually create the array here. Sales, new double. This is set by how many people I put in, and this is the number of rows, number of salespeople, and this is the number of columns. And this is 4 plus 1, which is 5. Notice I created months. I said 4. It's a constant. If at any time in the future I want to change it, I say I want to go to 6 months, I just change that to 6 and go from there. Okay, just to kind of conclude the temp agency, here's my salesman. My get, I can get salesman, so once I set it, which are just the salesman's names, I get it, I return salesman, and I will return a string of, an array string, one-dimensional. Here's my get for for the sales array, two-dimensional array, and it's going to return doubles, and here it is, return sales. Here's how I set the salesperson. I'll send an index and the name, and so for 0, say for example was the index, I'll set whatever name I pass. 1, whatever name I pass. 2, whatever name I pass. 3, whatever name I pass. Set initial sales. Here's their initial sales of 50 and 60,000. Again, the index and whatever initial sales I set. And here's where I do the actual future sales tables. So I started 0, and I say 0. I'm going to take at 0, 0, I'm going to take whatever the initial was, multiply it by 1.05, 5% increase, and put it into the, say, the first person's first month. Then I'm going to take whatever value this is, multiply it by 10%, put it into the second month. Take the second month's sales, multiply it by 15%, and put it in the third month. And take whatever value this is from the third month, multiply it by 0.2, which is 20%, and put it in the value for the fourth month. So that's all temp agency does. Now let's go back here. Notice I get the salesperson's names. Let's see, get salesperson's name, the name, and all I do is ask for names. Please enter the name, and I go through it with a for loop, and so this becomes my index when I go. X does. So for 0, I get the first person's name, and I set it in the matrix, or the array. First one, I get number 1, I get their name, I set it in the array, so on and so forth. Here's get the sales data, which is what I do after I get their names. I get the sales data. And notice all the time I'm passing the object, which I called an agency. So I'm passing the object to both of these. So here's get sales data. Basically there, I bring back the salesman's name given the X value. So the first one's 0. And I'm going to say, please enter initial sales figure for whatever their name is. And I'll read it in. And it should be a double. If it's not, because it could be an integer, I'll take an integer and just put a 0.0 on it. I'm going to say, please try again. And then I'm going to set the initial sales by giving X, which is the for loop counter and give the initial sales. Once I'm done with the initial sales, I'll produce a sales production table, which we saw. All that is a call to it. And then I display the results, again, passing the object in agency. And that's right down here. I bring in the names. I display the header, which just tells me salesperson initial. And if you look at this, it's 0 minus 20. That means at this location, put salesperson is going to be left aligned by 20 characters. So it's going to leave 20 characters for it left aligned. And then after 20 characters, I'm going to put 10 characters for salesperson, again, left aligned. If the number was positive, it would be right alignment. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here for month, name, sales, and then add 5% to the thing. So it's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20%. Notice that was a little off. I should have to correct that a little bit. So anyway, after I put the header, I'm going to go from 0 to the length of the salesman array. And then I'm going to split, and I showed this in class the last time. If I split on the break, I'm going to create a salesman index of 1 and 0 called the name. And notice it here, it's only 2 dimensions. In 0 for the name comes the first name, and in 1 comes the second name. So this will be, like in the example I did, I had Amanda Dawson. This will be Dawson, comma, Amanda. I just reversed them. And then I put out their sales index. C means formatted as in monetary currency. So it puts in a $sign, it puts in the commas after 50,000, and it just swoops through it.